asking the guys who might challenge at the top of the table, but they are spending and they are continuing to spend. And Roberto De Zerbi is saying the spending is not going to stop anytime soon. At what point do we start talking about them as, if not title contenders, but top 4 contenders? Or are they already?
They've got a chance. I mean, the players that they're signing, they're going to obviously, looks like they're going to sign Savino and Marmoush, who are good forwards. Are they real top level? Not sure, but certainly better than what Tottenham have already got. And they're going for it. What's happened? Tottenham have had the handcuffs on in respect to the transfer market, it would feel, for many years. And this is a complete shift of strategy. And yeah,
it's a long time coming. I'm sure Tottenham fans would have said it should have happened a long time ago. They're standing there looking at a beautiful stadium. They want to see the money on the pitch, and I think that we're starting to see it now. We're so surprised to see the Tonali signing, the Fernandes signing, and now we're talking about the Savinho's going there, maybe Marmoush. If I'm a Tottenham player, I'd be quite happy with those 4. If those 4 come in, I'd be quite happy because they've realised they can't finish like they've done the last 2 seasons. They've put the money on the table and said, listen, we can't be having that. So I think De Zerbi, if he gets those players, I think that Tottenham, with those 4, could maybe cause a little bit of problems.
Top 4?
No, they won't be 17th. Let's just say that for a start, because that's what they need. You can't get Tonali and Fernandes in the midfield and not have people up front to pass to.
Where do they have to finish with that kind of spend, do you think?
I still think we do. I mean, you're saying top 4. I think it's normally top 5 at the moment, isn't it, in terms of Champions League football? So could they get top 5? What's happened the last few years with teams getting into Europe is the big teams, namely Tottenham and Manchester United a couple of years back, they've sort of fell away. Chelsea last season, but they're not even in the European position. So that's why we've got different teams in Europe, maybe not the most fashionable of teams. I think Tottenham would need one of the other bigger sides or established sides to have a poor season. Now, there's normally one that does. I can't think who it would be this season, but I think they would need that to be.
You think Liverpool, do you?
People are getting very carried away with Man United. People put them second and third. Honestly.
Well,
they've got this, Man United's back 4, right, is the same back 4 they had 5 years ago. Telling you.
I knew you were going to start.
Honestly.
I don't know if
Are you a little bit worried about Liverpool this season?
A little bit.
A little bit worried. We finished 5th last season. Can't be any worse than last season.
No, but do you think that what I'm saying is, do you think that Liverpool are going to improve upon that this season?
Their performances will improve. They won't lose as many games as they did last season. I don't believe that. And hopefully, Isak, if he's fit, he is one of the top strikers in the league, isn't he? But they've still got to get reinforcements in the window and get wingers in with pace, which I think they will do.
Welcome back to the Premier League show. Tottenham Hotspur ensured their Premier League safety on the final day of the season with a win against Everton. That's led to a huge spending spree. And with more to come if Savino and Omar Marmoush complete their moves from Manchester City. Roberto De Zerbi has praised the club's recruitment strategy this summer, but says performances on the pitch must improve in order to avoid another relegation battle this campaign.
Roberto, it's been such an exciting summer. So many transfers, and I think the fans are really, really looking forward to the season. But is it also important to remember where you came from at the end?
Yeah, for sure. We can't forget, and it's a big motivation. Biggest motivation for us is to remember last season. Now is the new season. We are building. I hope the future of the club. The players is fantastic, and now we have to prepare to compete in the best way we can.
You had to stay up to do the work you have been able to do in the summer. Has it surprised you how much you've been able to do?
What we have done is finish. We have to remember in our head, but we have to move on and to change page and to prepare for the next season. I think we are in a good position now, because staying in Premier League is unbelievable, no? But anyway, we can't lose the reality. We have to find the balance between to be ambitious, but in the same time to be humble, because Premier League is players, even you can make a big transfer market session. Anyway, you have to deserve on the pitch, and where you have to play well if you want to win the games. Otherwise, it's tough even you brought big players.
Fans will look at this season as well and see no European football. They see a whole pre-season to work with players, and there will be ambitions. But obviously, they finished a long way down the league last season. Have you set targets? Have you set places you need them to be this season?
No, because first of all, we have to fix the balance between the enthusiasm, the atmosphere so nice, with the reality. The reality is we are changing many players. We have to find the two principal characteristics of the team: the soul, the value, the human value, and the passion and the style of play, the quality of play, and then we can fix what target, how many targets you want. But we have to be serious and honest, and in Premier League it's not like 1 second you change and you can compete. I think anyway we are good enough to compete for the top. When we are ready of our best, the pitch will say.
Yeah, Warren, Roberto De Zerbi trying to stay pretty calm there, isn't he? There's back-to-back 17th place finishes. The message out of Tottenham Hotspur was this cannot be allowed to happen again. And so what they did, they backed Roberto De Zerbi in the market. If Savinho and Marmoush were to arrive as well, I think the spending could go through £350 million. Has that surprised you, the volume of the spend and the players that they brought in?
No, I think they needed to. Obviously, they've recouped some of the money as well. So when it pans out, it's not going to be as large as that. But I like him as a coach. He's 47 years of age. He did well at Marseille. He knows the Premier League with Brighton. And you said he was calm there, but he's not calm on the sideline. And I think that's exactly what they needed, that club. They needed someone that shows passion, shows leadership. When you play for him, you know there's a foundation. There's a system how he plays, and he will implement that into what they want to do at Tottenham. They're a big club. They want to challenge, they compete. I slightly disagree. I think they can switch it around. I think Robertson coming in at the back is an excellent signing. He was a free signing, but he's someone that can give him leadership. He can take responsibility. And when you play for a club that has a feel-good factor of how they ended the season, I know it was only survival, but it was like they won a major competition. Now they can bring that in. Everybody's looking to go into pre-season. They're going to be fit. They're going to be obviously have a system to play with, and they've got some outstanding players, as you rightly said, that are coming in.
You say outstanding players. That Savinho fee could be around £85 million. He scored twice in 53 Premier League appearances.
That's what you get for 85 million. But that's the going rate now. You know, when you want a player that gives you a nice balance, can be a little bit different, you have to spend the money. You know, Tonali's a player that, is he that 100 million? But he's a player that, I think with a Brazilian mentality, if he plays and you put an arm around him, he can be exciting, he can be a difference maker, and I think the Spurs fans will like that. When he was at Man City, he never knew whether he was going to play, whether he's not. When you're that type of player with freedom, that wants to express yourself, you've got to feel comfortable. And again, going back to the foundations of what he has as a system will make him feel comfortable. They will give him the ball, they will let him express himself, but also he'll walk into there. Yes, you've got to earn the right, but once he feels like I'm that player that's going to be out there and play 80% of the games, 75% of the games, rather than at Man City where he thought, if I get 30 games a season, I've done really, really well. There he's going to get a good opportunity to play.
Warren, there have been some big name departures as well, not least the captain, Christian Romero. Jed Spencer's gone, the goalkeeper Vicario has left, but what they have done is bring in Premier League tried and tested players, particularly in defence. Andy Robertson, you mentioned him, Van Hecke, Senesi from Bournemouth. How important was it that they did bring in those players who are Premier League tried, tested and can walk into this team and hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think it's very important. You know, their ambitions obviously is to be high in the league. You know, he just touched it, he let it slip out, saying about Europe, top of the league. So he wants to be looking at that, and they can turn it around with a quality. And again, knowing the Premier League, and we're speaking about Coventry, how they was like trying to find their way. Frank Lampard knows the Premier League like the back of his hand, but so do these players. Romero leaving is probably lifting the cloud from the club, because was he a captain? A lot of people said yes, he was, and then you see his behaviour, how he was in the. So I think that's way of getting rid of it. You've got a clean slate. They've had a good pre-season. They've got some outstanding players that have come in, and you touched on it, I mean, so they've got players that know this league, so they can hit the ground running. They want to prove a point. It's, as I said, it's a big club. It's a fantastic stadium. And they've seen what's happened at North London across the road. They want to try and emulate that and knock it off. So they've woken up, and about time, because like you've rightly said, 2 years, finishing 17th is not good enough.
What can Tottenham Hotspur fans expect with regard to Premier League position? Are we talking top 6, maybe even top 4?
I would say minimum top 8. Top 8, and then you go from there. If they get a good run, and maybe even a cup competition, because they've got some good players. And again, going back to the coach, it gives them an identity, so they know exactly how to play. So when it maybe not going your way, you can fall back into that system. And I think he's got that with his players. He's obviously got the passion and the hunger to do that. And they want to prove a point, because, as I said, it's a big club.
Big club. It's not an easy start, though, is it? Spurs